Hello guys, today I'll be continuing the prelims question of 2013 from 101. So आज मैं 101 by शुरू करना 200 तक खत्म करूँगा prelims 2013 NPSC question paper. So let's get this video started. So 101. Bilhana was the author of Vikramanka Charita. So Vikramanka Charita was written on for Vikram Aditya VI, who was the Chalukya king. And if you look at the other options, Harsha Charita was written by Bana, who was the court poet of Harsha, and Raja Ratnagiri was written by Kalhan, which also means the river of kings, and Kama Sutra was written by Vatsyana. Next, 102. The wavelength of the light invisible light mostly absorbed by chlorophyll falls in this region, so it falls under the red region. Next, when was focus market scheme introduced? The focus market scheme was introduced in 2006 and 7 on 1st of April 2006, and the food market scheme focused on export promotion scheme by the government. So 40 will be current affairs. 105. Electronic device used for rectification is a diode. So what is a rectification? It converts AC alternating current to direct current. So which instrument is used to convert AC to DC is diode. And if you look at the other options, transistor means amplify electric signals, and inductor means to block AC but to allow DC current to flow, and resistor is to provide resistance in a electrical equipment. So 106. Rubber plantation in India occurs in the Western Ghats. So the Western Ghats of India is famous for rubber plantation. If we look at the state of Kerala, so Kerala is located in the Western Ghats. Next, castor seeds is mainly produced by Gujarat. So Gujarat is the largest producer of castor seeds. The per capita income in India was rupees 20 in 1857 to 68 was ascertained for the first time by Dadabhai Naoroji, who was also known as the Grand Old Man of India, and he wrote the Poverty and Un-British Rule in India. So question number 110. The number of FADH2 molecules generated in one turn of Krebs cycle is 1. So next, the Nobel Prize. So these are all current affairs. So 114. The part of the human brain which is related to learning is cerebrum. So if you look at the other option, hypothalamus maintains the body temperature and release hormones. Medulla is used to regulate the breathing and function such as sneezing, etc. And cerebellum is used to maintain the body balance. So mohon kita mudu khai, or when we drink alcohol, so the alcohol affects the cerebellum. So 115. The highest point of Nagaland is Mount Saramati, which is located at 3840 in Kiveri. A deficit state in which wheat moves is Bihar. A deficit state is a state in which the production of a crop is eaten by the state itself, and not much export is done from that state. So the state of Bihar, due to the high population, has deficit state. Number 118. The green village of Nagaland is Konoma, which is in Kohima district. Who taught the Four Noble Truths, that is the Arya Satyas, or the 8 Noble Paths, is Gautama Buddha. So next, 120. The Hindustan Socialist Republican Association in 1928 was started by Chandrasekhar Azad, and he founded the Hindustan Socialist Republican Association on September 1828 at Firozshah Kotla Stadium. 121. Coffee plantations are mainly in Karnataka, especially in the Baba Budan Hills of Karnataka. Who constructed the city of Tughlaqabad? Tughlaqabad was constructed by Ghaisuddin Tughlaq. As the name suggests, it is Ghaisuddin Tughlaq. A person is moving with uniform velocity in a car. He has thrown a stone up in the air, then the stone falls back to his hands. It is a basic law of physics. Next, 124. Mahayana means the superior. The Maha means superior and Hina means the inferior. So there are two types of sect in Buddhism, Mahayana, in which the countries such as China, Japan, they are the sect Mahayana tribes, whereas in uh, countries like Vietnam, Cambodia, the Thailand, the inferior vehicle or the Hinayana is most prominent there. Next, question number 125. The number of assembly constituencies in Nagaland is 60. So the first on the first after in Nagaland got statehood, the number of seats were 46, and gradually in the next election in 1969 it rose to 52, and in 1974 it rose to the present 60. So the the present constituency is 60 in Nagaland. Next, the largest percentage of total population in poverty is in the eastern part of India like Bihar, West Bengal, and Uttar Pradesh. So the percentage of total population to poverty is highest in these states. Next, Pakistan resolution was passed by the Muslim League in the Lahore session of 23rd of March 1940. Pakistan resolution means the demand for Pakistan, which was passed by Muslim League. The foreign currency which has tendency of quick migration is known as hot currency. So hot currencies basically are those which are unstable currency and it leads to market instability. Gold currency is exchange of gold for government bullion market, and soft currency are also known as hypersensitive in nature, soft currency. Next, 129. Pulses are largely grown in Madhya Pradesh. Since Madhya Pradesh is the largest producer of pulses, so we can say that Madhya Pradesh is the answer. Next, Nagaland state came into existence as a result of which amendment in the Indian constitution? So Nagaland came into existence in by the 13th amendment of 1962, and it was inaugurated as the 16th state of India. And next, question number 131. The Nagaland University was established in September of 6, 1994. It is also known as NU Raising Day. However, the foundation was laid in 1989 by Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi, and the motto is Labor and Honor, and the Vice Chancellor is Pardesi Lal. Next, excess of public expenditure over public revenue leads to deficit. We know that if expenditure exceeds the revenue, and it always leads to deficit. So there are many types of deficit such as primary deficit, fiscal deficit. So it leads to deficit. Next, question number 134. Mopla rebellion took place or started in the year 1921. So the Mopla rebellion took place in the state of Kerala in 1921 during the non-cooperation movement and the Khilafat movement. So where did so question number 136. A part of the central processing unit CPU is among the following. So CPU is part of the arithmetic and logical unit. Next, the Simon Commission was meant to suggest constitutional reforms. The Simon Commission came to India in 1928, and it suggested for constitutional reforms um, in the Government of India Act 1919. So to suggest constitutional reforms, the Simon Commission was initiated. Next, So the word that shows the following cobbler is leather, so carpenter will obviously need wood. Next, Nirgantharas means fetters, free from the fetters. It's related to the Jains. So the Jains, the the Jains who follow the religion of Jainism are also called Niranthas, or the free from the fetters. So the answer is B. Next, pastures and grazing lands are highest in Himachal Pradesh. Since Himachal is a hilly state, so the pastures are very much prevalent in those states. Who is the founder and author of a set of alphabet known as the alphanumeric? So alphanumeric was started by N. Haisoyi. Next, who was next? In which year Gandhi founded the Sabarmati Ashram in 1914? So Sabarmati Ashram was founded in 1914. However, after the failure of the non of the civil disobedience movement, Gandhiji again founded his ashram at Wardha. Next, in for whom did Wellington Churchill say he was father of Indian unrest? The father of Indian unrest was given to Bal Gangadhar Tilak. The substance which accumulates in the muscles in fatty condition is known as lactic acid. So lactic acid are those acids which gets accumulated in the muscle when we work out or when we go for exercise, and the next day our body feels pain. So this pain is due to the accumulation of lactic acid in our body, in our muscles especially. So the highest cropping index is in Punjab. So cropping index is the number of times a crop is grown sequentially in 1 year. So the number of crops grown in a patch of land sequentially in 1 year is known as a cropping index, and Punjab has the highest cropping index. India exports basmati to UAE. Choose the following. Choose the one from the following: heart, lungs, spade, club. So all are part of a deck of a cards, but lungs, which is a part of the human body. Next, high concentration of citric acid is found in orange. Since orange is a citric fruit, so as compared to other fruits, orange has the highest one. If wall is related to brick, then cloth is related to fiber. So fiber is consists of cotton, wool, etc. Wet farming is practiced in Bengal. So wet farming is practiced in Bengal. Development expenditure of the central government does not include. So what is development expenditure? Development expenditures are those expenditures which help in the economic development of a country. So since defense expenditure is part of the non-planned expenditure, so is also called defense expenditure. The largest producer of jowar in India is Maharashtra. Maharashtra is the largest producer, which produces nearly 52 to 54% of the jowar production in India. Next, the which article of the Indian Constitution has a special provision for Nagaland? It is Article 371A. Next, and if we look at the other articles, 323A is provides for administrative tribunals. Next, 160 is current affairs. 161, the most appropriate measure of a country's economic growth is the per capita real income. So we know that per capita income is the national income by total population. So per capita income is the real appropriate measure to measure an economic growth. Next, Montagu-Chelmsford reforms came into operation in the year 1921. So the Montagu-Chelmsford reform is also known as the Government of India Act 1919. However, it, uh, the act was although passed in 1919, but the effect came only after 2 years, that is 1921. So the answer is 1921. Next, 165. The highest area under tobacco is Andhra Pradesh. So we should know that Andhra Pradesh is the largest producer of tobacco in the world, followed by Gujarat, who restricted the liberty of the Indian press by the Vernacular Press Act of 1878. So it was Lord Lytton, and the Vernacular Press Act is also known as the Gagging Act. So what is Gagging Act? Gagging Act are those acts which prevents the media, which prevents the media from publishing those news which are against the government. So it is Lord Lytton. Which of the following city is known as the Highland of India? So Highland of Nagaland is Kohima. SEBI is a SEBI. What is SEBI? SEBI is a statutory body. SEBI was established by the SEBI Act of 1992 and 1992 on 12th of April, and its headquarters is in Mumbai. And what is SEBI? The Security and Exchange Board of India is a is an institution, is a financial institution which which uh, which is responsible for looking after the market securities in India, or government securities and other financial instruments. So next, 169. Ajivikas were the followers of Gosala. So Gosala is a sect which Ajivikas are sect of followers which was started by Gosala. Next, 100 and 173. The Harappa city was situated in Punjab, Safad, but Mohenjo-daro is located in Pakistan. So Harappa is located on the banks of river Ravi, while Mohenjo-daro is situated on the river Indus. So next, 175. The national parks and wildlife sanctuaries of Nagaland is 4. That is, the national park is Indangi National Park, whereas wildlife sanctuary are Singpan, Pulevatse, Rangapar, and uh, Fakim. So there are 4 wildlife sanctuaries and 1 um, national park. So in which year did Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru visit Nagaland? So Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru visited Nagaland on 30th of March 1953. The magnification of a lens is 2. The size of an object before the lens is 5 centimeter. The image size is magnification is height of the image by height of the object. So since magnification is given 2 and height of the object is 5, and the height of the image we have to find, and height of the object is 5. So by cross multiplying with the 5 to the 10, so the answer is 10. So cross multiplying will get the answer. Next, India is the third leading producer of cotton yarn and textile in the world, so the answer is second. It is second only to China. How many temples have the Khajuraho group? So the Khajuraho was built by the Chandela dynasty, and it is situated in Madhya Pradesh, and there are 20 temples of Khajuraho. Originally there were 85 temples, but some were destroyed, so the answer is 20. So next is 500 ml of a solution contains 0.2 moles of solute. What is the molarity of the solution? So the answer is 0.4. So molarity is denoted by moles of a solute divided by liters of solution. So divided 0.2 divided by 500 will give 0.4. Next, 181. Mongyu is a festival of poems, but Konyak celebrate Auling Mongyu, Chagisang celebrates Sukrenye, and Rengma celebrate Ngada. Next, CNG stands for compressed natural gas. Next, 184. Nationalism is the religion that comes from God. This was said by Mr. Aurobindo Ghosh. Decimal coinage in India was introduced in the year 1957, and it was the first. And next, question number 187. The poverty in less developed countries is largely due to income inequality. Who founded the Khalsa? The Khalsa is also an armed group uh, of the Sikhism religion, and it was founded by Guru Gobind Singh, who was also the 10th Guru. Next, Doyang River of Nagaland flows through the middle of which district? So it flows through Wokha district. 191. In early Vedic age, the business of the tribe was carried in in a popular assembly known as the Samiti. Samiti is also known as business of tribe. And next, 192. The national income estimates in India are prepared by the Central Statistical Organization. Next, the Muslim League passed the famous Pakistan resolution in the year 1940 at Lahore session. Mahatma Gandhi started his political activities from Champaran in 1917. He started in Champaran in 1917 and in Kheda, in Champaran, in Allahabad Mill Strike, and Kheda and Rolat Satyagraha. So the first one is the Champaran Satyagraha. So half of the total area under floriculture comes from the southern states. So Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, and Andhra Pradesh is the answer. 197. Who announced the goal of British policy in India was to grant of the dominion status? So Lord Irwin announced the goal of British policy in India as dominion status. 198. The world famous Kailash temple at Ellora is a specimen of Dravidian style. So we should know that the Kailash temple at Ellora was built by Rashtrakuta King Krishna I. So next, the highest yield of maize is since actually the answer is Andhra Pradesh, but since Andhra Pradesh is not given, so the next option is Karnataka. Next, economic liberalization in India started with the significant changes in industrial licensing policy. So we know that economic liberalization started with the LBG model. So L stands for liberalization, B for privatization, and G for globalization. So L liberalization. So liberalizing the industrial policy was the first step in ushering in the new economic reforms of 1991. So with this we come to the second end of the video. I hope you like it, and please like and subscribe. Have a great day.